vision.
Updated October 25, 2017. 151,617 Republican Senator Jeff Flake put his finger on it when he took to the floor of that August chamber to announce why he would not be running for re-election next year. None of this is normal. The junior senator from Arizona has been one of the most public critics of President Donald Trump since before his election, but his takedown of America's commander-in-chief was still stinging. Senator Flake, a conservative Mormon, condemned the coarseness of our leadership, the compromise of our moral authority and the degradation of our politics. But it was his Republican Senate colleague Bob Corker's rebuke of Mr. Trump that cut the deepest. Set off by another Trump tweet about Senator Corker's decision not to seek another term next year, the chairman of the powerful Senate Foreign Relations Committee said the president has great difficulty with the truth on many issues. And Senator Corker was just warming up. In a series of interviews across Capitol Hill, the senator, who was considered by Mr. Trump as both a possible running mate and Secretary of State, said Mr. Trump will be remembered for the debasement of our nation. Senator Corker says he regrets his earlier support for Mr. Trump, and would do it again. Not a master deal maker. All in all, at WASNT, a great day for Mr. Trump. He drove up Pennsylvania Avenue to Congress to have a power lunch with many of the Republicans working to deliver a major tax cut for Americans, which critics say will overwhelmingly benefit the rich. Cutting taxes is something all Republicans aspire to and should be able to agree on, yet in the Trump era, getting to yes on anything is proving to be incredibly difficult. To be fair to Mr. Trump, while he lived up to his promise of being a master dealmaker, HES pretty much signaled he'll sign any bill Republicans can pass in Congress on issues such as health care. They simply haven't been able to do it. It is precisely because the Republican Party is so deeply divided and dysfunctional that they find themselves notionally led by Mr. Trump. Nothing to show. Just weeks before the first anniversary of Mr. Trump's election as America's 45th president, Republicans have yet to register a major legislative achievement despite holding the White House and majorities in both houses of Congress. The Faustian bargain that many Republicans made with Mr. Trump isn't paying off. Senator Flake was unusual for never falling into line behind the president he saw as deeply, morally flawed and unqualified. Senator Corker, while never as vocal a supporter as someone like now Attorney General Jeff Sessions, was very much in the camp of let's make Trump the president we need him to be. He now acknowledges Mr. Trump isn't up to the task, in part because he doesn't want to be. Senator Corker, whose committee has oversight of the State Department, had argued the likes of Secretary Rex Tillerson, James Mattis at Defense and more recently Chief of Staff General John Kelly would be enough to steer the novice president in the right direction. Senator Corker now refers to them as running an adult daycare operation, while Mr. Trump is in danger of starting World War III. Senator Flake and Senator Corker aren't the only Republicans prepared to speak out against Mr. Trump. The ailing John McCain seems to be having some grim sport in pulling his support and demanding the return to a normal order. Bitter infighting won't go away, but where does this all end? It is possible that a deep split will appear between the White House and Republicans in Congress that is made more likely if the tax reform process collapses. Next year's congressional midterm elections will see bitter internal squabbles flare just as they did during the Tea Party insurgency of 2010. Senator Corker and Senator Flake are leaving the Senate, very likely to be replaced in early 2019 by Republicans who have courted the Trump wing of the party with the support of Steve Bannon. And Mr. Bannon has already had a victory on that front with the nomination of the more Trump than Trump pistol-packing wingnut Roy Moore for the Senate from Alabama. Mr. Trump, with Mr. Bannon's considerable assistance, launched a hostile takeover of the Republican Party in 2016 by claiming its presidential nomination and then the presidency, but that process is far from over. The purge of establishment Republicans like Senator Corker and Senator Flake only helps the remaking of the GOP as a populist, nationalist party, drawing the support of the white working class away from the Democrats. To the extent that Senator Corker and Senator Flake are mounting any kind of mutiny, they are doing so as they slowly walk the plank themselves. It is Mr. Trump who has snatched the helm and thrown the rest of the Republican Party in the brig. Topics: World politics, government and politics. Donald Trump, United States. First posted October 25, 2017. 123,244